Today I'm out here on this 2025 Ducati Panigale V2 S. Now guys, I've never ridden this model, but after today's ride, I should have a much better idea of what this bike is all about. You guys stick around, I'll give this thing a chase score at the end of the video. I'm Chaseontwowheels, and this is the first ride. Boy, V-twin sounding nice. You know what else sounds nice? That reminds me. Cardo with a discount. We love saving money, especially if you buy one of these. Boy, you broke. Alrighty guys, that's what it looks like, and that's what it sounds like. This absolutely gorgeous machine here. And guys, before we get to ride this thing, we got to thank the sponsor making this video possible, and that is the guys at Delete Me. Guys, real quick before we jump on the Panigale V2 S, we got to talk about something wild that happened to me recently. A few weeks ago, my sister-in-law showed Heather and I this super creepy website that literally had all of her information on it. Naturally, the first thing we did was look ourselves up. And yeah, wouldn't you know it, it had not only our information, our addresses, our emails, and our phone numbers, bro. It had old addresses. It had a phone number that I forgot I had at some point. Not only that, but it also then at the bottom, even creepier than it already was, showed all of the acquaintances that I probably had. They were all people I knew. What is going on? So after finding that website, which is only one of God knows how many websites, I very quickly signed up for Delete Me, which is the sponsor of today's video. So Delete Me is a service that finds websites online that are selling your personal information and deletes it for you. I actually just got my first privacy report back, so let's see what it found. Okay, so it looks like they found 362 listings. I was freaking out with one, so that's not good. And they found my personal info on 48 different data broker sites. Okay, so apparently they've already removed 49 listings of my data and they're still working through the rest. Then they give this little estimate to you that they've saved me 4.5 hours of searching and submitting removal requests. That's pretty cool. Oh, and the sketchiest one is a site called That's Them. Had the most info on me. So yeah guys, looking through this privacy report, I'm definitely gonna personally be using Delete Me now to help reduce identity theft, phishing scams, or just random strangers being able to dig into my life. So yeah, if you guys want to protect your info or your families, go to joindeleteme.com/chase and use that coupon code CHASE to get you guys 20% off. Big thanks to Delete Me for sponsoring this video and getting my info off the internet. Let's go ride this Ducati. All right, my friends, thank you for watching the ads, and hey, get your info off the internet quickly. All right, time to ride this thing, guys. I always like to tell you guys, thank you guys so much for watching the ads. I don't know how much you guys care about Inside Baseball, but those ads pay so much better than YouTube, you have no idea. But drop me a like on this video if you guys want me to start giving you an option. I mentioned it in a video the other day. But if you guys want, I'll make a membership here on YouTube. I'll only make it $1, and I will put every video out that we do with an ad with no ads for you guys. Would it be worth $1 a month to do that? You guys let me know. Anyway, we are on the 2025 Ducati Panigale V2 S. Oh, I'm over here with my quad lock installed here and don't even have my phone on it. All right, guys, Panigale V2 S. Turning it on. Engaged. Got a cool little stylus situation popping up, reminding you what your bike looks like. Alrighty, so guys, we do have a very technologically advanced motorcycle here. So we have a mode button. If I press that mode button, you're gonna notice we got road, we got wet, we got race, and we got sport. Something interesting to note that I found out when we were doing the camera car run, you guys see how if I press once, it goes into sport setup, and then it goes to road, and then it goes to road setup. That setup is only there if the bike is not moving. If the bike is moving, you will only cycle through the modes. That is pretty neat, and I appreciate it, Ducati. So we're going to start out in wet mode as we always do. We'll progress up through the modes. I'm not going to hit on race mode for this bike. We'll save that for a track day if we get the opportunity. So let's get it cranked up, listen to some fun background music. Also, guys, I'm 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam, and I actually have slightly bent legs, as you guys can see. Hashtag race boots mode. Yeah, so slightly bent legs, I can come up just a little bit, but not a ton. And that's all we really got, my friends. Let's get her going. Visor all the way down for the best audio possible. Welcome to the Chase on Two Wheels experience. Speaking of the Chase on Two Wheels experience, if you guys want updates on the email of the videos we put out, YouTube does a pretty shitty job of letting you know when we publish videos, but we do not. We email you guys once a week. Join the On Two crew. Links in the description down below. Let's just neutral it up, boys. We're gonna be stuck here for a second. Oh yeah, we can go. We're in rain mode, but we can go. All right, Panigale V2 S. Don't do it, BMW. Don't do it, BMW. Thank you so much. Alrighty, my friends. We're finally on the road on the Panigale V2. You guys have been asking for this first ride for a hot second, but you guys know, like, these dealerships, they be just selling out of motorcycles. I can only ride these things if they are available at the dealership, and finally the V2 was available, V2S was available. So I know a lot of you guys are very excited about this. When I found out I was able to do this first ride today, I was thinking of all the comments. There's a lot of comments on the R9 first ride, actually, which is kind of interesting. I guess they're competitive bikes, so that totally makes sense. But yeah, I was very happy for you guys that we were finally going to get a first ride on a bike y'all been asking about. Alrighty, guys, it's a first ride. Let's talk about the body position on the Panigale V2S. Slightly harder seat, very tucked up leg situation, but interestingly, probably the most interesting piece about the body position on this bike is that I'm not leaned over quite as much as I came into this video expecting to be. This is actually a pretty comfortable body position for me. I've got a bad back, so super sports where I'm leaned way over don't really do that good of a job, but I like my legs being tucked up. I just don't like my upper half being leaned over very much, and I really like this for a sporty body position. If I want to, I can sit back in the seat some and I can lean over some more, but sitting up in the seat, I can actually get in a very comfortable one-handed position here and really enjoy this. Actually, I don't trust that Audi at all. Okay, cool, we're good. All right, so watch the mode change, guys. We're gonna hit the mode change button right now, and as you can see, it doesn't set up with the it doesn't do the setup section. It just skips straight into that mode. We close throttle, we're into that mode. We're now in road mode, my friends. Alrighty, let's talk about what's powering this thing. We have an 890cc V-twin powering the Panigale V2S. We are looking at 120 horsepower and 69 foot-pounds of torque. Nice. And we got a 4-gallon gas tank. We got a wet weight of, I think, 396. Let me get a fact check on the wet weight. I believe it's 396 or 399, something like that. It's somewhere close to that. And also, if you guys are curious, the S model versus the regular V2 model, you're looking at upgraded suspension. We got Öhlins on this model with the S, and we have lighter wheels. It's the Marchenzini wheels, I think. Probably butchering the name, but hey, I got close. Asterisk, hopefully. We'll wait after this red, and we will talk about city performance. Alrighty, guys, little quick look at the Porsches and the beautiful Ferraris, and then we'll get in the left lane and go. Alrighty, guys, so let's talk about city performance on the V2S, and honestly, it's going to surprise a lot of you, I think. So we're looking at a sport bike, so you're already knowing it's not going to be as ideal as something like a Naked, but it's actually not as bad as most sport bikes. Like, I guess because of that body position, I feel like I have a better sense around me. One of my main issues, which is going to be interesting, that this is one of my main issues for city riding, is that this engine, this 890cc V-twin, it's very shaky at low RPMs and actually gets very smooth when we get going at a higher RPM. So where that affects the motorcycle the most for me is in city settings when we're not going fast, the mirrors are shaking a ton. I can barely see what's going on behind me. But when we get onto the highway and I can start revving the bike out, everything becomes way smoother, which is super interesting. Power wise, you are on a V-twin. You do have a decent amount of power down low. That will help you. Oh no, trapped. Absolutely trapped. Oh no, I'm not trapped. Haha.
The bike's got a good amount of power down low. That is helpful to get in and around traffic. I do much appreciate that. And one of the things that I would also recommend you get the V2 S for street riding are the lighter wheels. It makes this bike, sorry, just making sure we got no traffic. And the brakes are great, thank God. The S model with those lighter wheels actually does make the bike a considerable amount more maneuverable here on the street. Normally super sports are just, they're not the most ideal thing for the street, but the lighter wheels, the more upright upper half body position, it really makes this a super sport that's totally fine on city streets, which is really awesome to see. That was always the downfall of super sports. They're super fun to go into the mountains or get on the highway or do dumb stuff, but then when you're riding them around traffic and around town, it's miserable. And we're getting into an era where these companies are making super sports where they're actually not that bad. Another thing about riding in town is you're not going to be going that fast, and it's a Panigale, and we all know the one thing about Panigales, right? They get hot. So the question is, how hot does the V2 get? On a scale of Panigale V4, why are you braking with nobody ahead of you? That makes no sense. So it is a Panigale. It does get warm. I'm not saying it doesn't get warm, but I have been surprised at how not crazy hot that the bike gets. On a Panigale scale, like a V4 Panigale, honestly, this thing's about an 8. I guess because the exhaust is going out the back and it's just open to the air, it is able to stay a little cooler, which I really like. The only times I really notice the heat is on the very back right side of my butt, interestingly. That's where I felt heat, but that's only after I got 2 red lights in a row during the camera car run. Other than that, the bike's really not been that bad. You know, for a super sport, for one, and for a Panigale, we might have to change the scale, guys. I might not be able to keep saying the bike is from a 0 to a Panigale. Also, we're about to do the 40 to 80 pull. I've got to get this thing into sport mode. I have it in sport mode now. Okay, let's do that. I don't have it in sport mode yet. It is now. Oh, do I get the green? Oh my goodness. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, don't. Thank you so much. All right, we got to do a 40 to 80 pull, and I'm trying to not piss off many people. Okay, I'm holding on for dear life with this. We got a quick shifter. We're fine. Ooh, this one's gonna be quick. All right, we got to look for that escape lane. All right, guys, 40 to 80 on a 2025 Ducati Panigale V2 S. On your mark, get set, go. That's 80 right there. Oh, maybe it's a little over 80. Nobody looked. What was the time on that? I'm surprised I made it all the way through second gear. Oh, okay, CRV. No, you're good. Just okay, cool. Yeah, give me the time on that. That seemed really good. That thing hit at 40 miles an hour like a freight train. So I imagine that was pretty good 40 to 80 time. Alrighty, guys, so we're here on the highway, and I want you to look at the mirrors. Can you, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in an action camera. It's probably going to be hard. But the mirrors vibrate so much less here on the highway when we're actually have the bike up to speed and going. I think that's absolutely fascinating. So, how fast are we going? We're going 75, 80 on the highway in 5th gear. I can pop this thing up in 6th, and this bike is very happy to just cruise here on the highway. I will notice when I'm in my kind of cruising situation, I got one hand on the throttle, and I'm just like sitting up. The wind is really hitting me at like dead abdomen. So the air looks like it comes up and in. If I duck all the way down, the wind is definitely going up and over my helmet, so that does a good job. If I was in like a race situation or a track day. Very solid here, tracking incredibly well. This thing feels very stable here on the highway. We'll go back and forth, and yeah, this is where I think that lighter weight, the lighter wheels is really going to help this thing out. Very easy to change direction on this bike. Very, very impressive, honestly, that it can be that good in the street and still good here on the highway. Now, I will note we're in the break-in period on this bike still. We're at 35 miles an hour, or 35 miles. We have a pit limiter and we have cruise control, but I'll show you guys. If I try to use cruise control, oh wait, we're not in road mode. We're in road mode, not in the other mode. We should have been in sport mode. Oh no. That means we weren't in sport mode for the 40 to 80. Oh no. To be continued on the 40 to 80. Maybe I can squeeze one out up here. We'll see. Regardless, with the break-in period, it will not let you do cruise control. I'll show you. Cruise control not available in current configuration. I can't figure out how to get cruise control working, but the bike does have cruise control, so that is really nice. I appreciate that. Good job, Ducati. I can't test if I can rotate forward to get off cruise control, but regardless, they put it in a Super Sport, and I'm happy about it. I'm really curious about the 40 to 80 now. I wonder if there's a way I can sneak it out. Hold on. We're going to do something slightly dumb. I don't recommend doing this. We're going to see if we can squeak out the 40 to 80 here on the highway. Is anybody going to be behind me? Yeah, there's too many people. Can't do it. I was going to say, I got a bit of a straight shot here. Let me try, but we got people behind us. I'll see if I can squeeze it out up here and get you guys a better 40 to 80 time. We'll keep it in race mode. All in all, highway-wise, fantastic. I thought that the bike being so light might not have done great on the highway, but very happy with that. So locked on with that Öhlins front and rear suspension. Very locked right now. I have no issue, and that's no adjustment on the suspension. My goodness gracious. It's situations like that that you realize what you get the Öhlins for. My goodness. This thing would be so nice on a track. Oh my God. I would love to take this thing to a track. But it does well on the city too, surprisingly. All right, this is where I'm gonna try to sneak a 40 to 80 in. If you're watching at home, I don't recommend this. I'm gonna try to do it as safe as I possibly can. We know it's gonna be in first gear. All right, let's just watch. No cops, no cops. All right, let's back off. God, the truck's gonna make it complicated. The truck's gonna make it complicated. Don't go, don't go, don't go. All right, let's see if I can pop a 40 to 80 out real quick. On your mark, get set, go. That's 80. All right, we got a 40 to 80 in. I'm slowing down. It was only for testing purposes. Was that time better? Just confirm, I'm in sport mode. Was that better than the other one? That one wasn't as controlled as the first one, but I'm very curious. The bike did feel a little different in that mode. So there you go. I hope that helps everybody, because we all know that the 40 to 80 is very important. Jesus Christ, this bike's fast. How did it not get in sport mode the first time? Also, I don't trust anybody around me right now. All right, we can hit the mode button and we can go back into road mode, because that's where we are. We're here on the road doing totally legal speeds. So guys, next thing I want to talk about is the quick shifter on this bike. Solid quick shifter, very minimal disturbances to the motorcycle when using the quick shifter. The one odd thing about the quick shifter is that you kind of have to press it into itself before it clicks into working. And then once it goes, it feels fine, but it has a little bit of a rubbery push to the pedal when you do the quick shifter. Like I said, the thing I'm more worried about and want to be better is the disturbance on the motorcycle when shifting. And I think it's solid. I got no problems with it. It's just a little bit weird of a feel on the press of the quick shifter. We can also talk about the brakes because this bike has very nice Brembo brakes. We also have a Brembo master cylinder, and I have had no problems with the brakes so far. Very slightly light up front, which I like. I like that on like really high level brakes that'll get me stopped quickly. I like them having a lot of control up front with very light lever pull, and then they drop the anchors and slow it way down with a continuation of the pull. I'll try to, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you guys that, but I just feel like I have a lot of control with the brakes. And that suspension being more race focused, with the suspension being more race focused, you don't get a ton of dive. The bike just feels still in very good control, even under heavy braking, which is super nice. Are we gonna get to go? That person has a Bulbasaur, Charmander, and a Squirtle in the back of their car. We are friends. We are friends. Let me see if I can get this visor open. Oh, the air. Holy snap. The air feels great. Do we have steel braided lines on this? Oh, we don't have, we have a hydraulic. Okay. Sick. We do have steel braided lines. Love that. Okay, cool. I guess I would expect nothing less from a Brembo master cylinder than freaking steel braided lines. That makes sense why the feel is so good. It's got a good pull too. We were talking about the heat earlier, and even right now we've been sitting at this light, The heat's really not even getting to me at this point, so it takes 2 long red lights, I think, for the heat of the bike to actually get to you. Alrighty guys, let's talk about the controls and all that kind of stuff up here. We do have quite a bit to talk about. Controls wise, very similar, if not the exact same as we had on the Multistrada V2 S, which I also enjoyed. They look like they're very, I guess I'd call them weatherproof. They look durable, I guess I'll say that. And they're a little kind of all over the place, but I think once you take a look at it and you feel it out, it makes sense. I don't love the mode button. I found the easiest way for me to get to the mode button is my thumb coming up and around to get to that. That's kind of the easiest way I have found to get to the mode button, but it's just kind of in a weird spot. We got a directional pad underneath that. The cruise control's in a good spot when it works. I mean, it's not working because of it's not like the bike is not working. I want you guys to hear that and think, oh, well, the cruise control's not working, what the heck? Then we got the horn, we got the hazards, all good there. And then we've got your lights, and we have your crank up switch on the right side. All of it has a very weatherproof seeming material. Love that. One of the things that I really noticed on this bike when I was rolling it out of the dealership is these grips are literally made out of Elmer's glue, it feels like. They have such a tight grip on your hands. I absolutely love that. They don't look like they would be that grippy, but they absolutely are. We have both Brembo levers on clutch and brake side. The feel is fantastic. I love those. Now, we also have the adjustable Öhlins suspension here up front. And then we have our TFT Dash. I think a lot of you guys probably know how I feel about Ducati TFT Dashes. Ducati does a phenomenal job with their TFT Dashes. I think this dash is a perfect size for this motorcycle. It takes up all the screen real estate and, more importantly, uses all of the screen real estate. Very much appreciate that. And then going into the settings, obviously I can't do that while I'm going, but Ducati just really has it dialed with how they do all of their settings and stuff on the bike. So Ducati, nice job. You're still holding the lead. I love your stuff the most. Props to all of your UI designers. Doing a great job. Talk about the mirrors real quick. It's a Super Sport. It's one of the things that Super Sports don't do very well, and that is the same on this motorcycle. The mirrors are okay. They shake a lot, especially in the city settings, and they don't have a ton of adjustability. You have to just press the mirror around, and I just can't get the mirrors in the spot that I really appreciate. I'm sure most of y'all that buy this motorcycle are going to rip those off and put the blanks on there. Probably going to fit this motorcycle with a little bar end mirror or something is what I would imagine most of y'all are going to do. No shocker there. I would do the same thing. Panigale has always looked so good when you take those off. I just realized, is it the V4? Is the V4 the only one that has the weird arrow on the side? The V2 doesn't have that. I almost like it more. Nay, I definitely like it more. Huh. Okay. All right, guys, I think I hit on everything. I'm sure I missed something, but, you know, I can only talk about so much before I gotta take a breath. So, that's the 2025 Ducati Panigale V2 S. Let's find out how it lays out on a chase score, though.
Alrighty, guys, let's see how this 2025 Ducati Panigale V2 S is going to play out with the chase score. First up, we have throttle response, and I'm giving this thing a 9. That V-twin hits instantly and feels alive when rolling on. For agility, I'm going to give this thing an 8. The lighter wheels help, but it still feels like it has a heavier steering than that R9. Now for brakes, I'm giving this thing a 9. Brembos bite hard with tons of feel and confidence. Now for acceleration, I'm going to give this thing an 8. It's strong and it's punchy, though it's not quite as wild as a 4-cylinder rever. Suspension wise, I'm giving this thing an 8. Öhlins keep this thing composed, but tuned more for sporty stiffness than that plushness. The good thing is, it is adjustable. Next up, we have comfort, and I'm honestly gonna give this thing a 6. It's better than most Panigales, but still a firm seat and sporty lean. Now for tech, I'm giving this thing a 9. Excellent TFT, modes, quick shifter, and cruise control stand out in this class. Now for ease of use, I'm gonna give the bike a 6. The controls and the mirrors aren't ideal, and I just wish the user interface was a little more user-friendly. Now for versatility, I'm going to give this thing a 5. Clearly this thing belongs at a track, but if you're not doing track or sporty riding, I still think it works great in the city and on the highway. Finally, we have fun for the money, and I'm going to give it a 4. At nearly 19 grand with the Ducati upkeep, it makes it a pretty pricey thrill. Overall, guys, that's going to give a ride score of 42, a usability score of 30, giving it a total chase score of 72.
Alrighty guys, that's the chase score. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comments down below, especially if you own one of these. I love getting y'all's opinions down there. So guys, Panigale V2 S, I've been thinking about it, and I authentically think if I was gonna buy the V2 S or the V4, I think I would buy the V2 S, truly, because I still get all of my sport riding, but I get it in a platform where I can sit upright and actually enjoy myself on city streets. And can I just say, I'm loving this category. This streetable super sport is what I'll call it. I'm looking at this bike, I'm looking at the R9. These are just sport bikes, and they give us everything that a sport bike would, but you actually can ride it on the street enjoyably. It's a fascinating category that we're getting to have here in the motorcycle space. Also, I didn't touch on it yet, but the V2 S model is coming in at right under 19 grand MSRP. So the person that I think would be absolutely best for this motorcycle, obviously you got to be able to afford a Ducati, not only the bike, but you got to be able to afford the maintenance and all that kind of stuff. So there is that. So it's going to come at a higher price tag. But if you mostly do sport riding and occasional just city stuff, this is now a motorcycle that's totally accessible for you. You still get a very aggressive lower half to your body position. You get a seat that I've got no problem with sitting in for quite a while. You get a bike that has cruise control and a pit limiter, which is kind of neat. And you get a slightly sporty, we'll call it that, a slightly sporty upper half, and that's going to allow you to ride in situations like this and be comfortable. The V-twin's super punchy on the street, so you can get around where you need to go. If you're going between the V2 and the V2S, I don't even think it's close. I would not go for the V2. It would be the V2S every single time. The adjustable Öhlins suspension mixed with the lightweight wheels really adds to the entire combo for this bike. So if you're choosing between those two, I think it's an extra 3 grand. It is without a doubt worth it. All right, so guys, big shout out to Mountain Motorsports for letting us loan this motorcycle to do the first ride on Honda. Wouldn't be able to do this first ride without them. If you guys want to check them out, huge dealership with multiple locations here in North Georgia. We'll have a bike provided by a link in the description down below. Give those guys some love so we can keep doing first rides for you guys. And guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. If y'all enjoyed this first ride, we have a whole first ride playlist. You guys can see more videos we did first rides on. And if you want to watch the first ride that I did of the Panigale V2 S, that video will be here at the end of the video. I appreciate you guys riding around with me. You guys ride safe out there on whatever bike you're on, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.